Hey, good afternoon. It's Monday. Welcome to the show. This is Just Parlays with Chris King. I'm your host, Scott Steehn. I'm kind of like the lion tamer with the chair, so I try to keep this guy under control. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. Good to be here. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, talking about parlays. Chris bundling, as Frank from American Pickers would call it. We're going to bundle those plays together and come out with a nice result. So,
and if you guys, to quote Bobby Heenan, tell your neighbors, tell your friends if you have any to tune into the show. And as Tony Schiavone would say, that'll put some butts in the seats.
There you go. Unknown entity checking in. Andrew Collage is here. Good to see you guys. Happy Monday to everybody. Chris, how'd your weekend go? Did you do all right?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, there were some disappointments. I didn't expect Justin Verlander to get beat up by the White Sox Saturday.
Nope.
That was disappointing.
Makes those Manoah Cy Young tickets look a little better, huh?
Yeah, he pitched all right Saturday. He just didn't get any support.
Yeah, that's not really all that unusual for him. I had the I had the under there, and that was easy money. So
yeah, I took Tyone in that game, and I was surprised that the Yankees were an underdog.
Getting plus money all weekend, man. Plus money on the Yankees all weekend. It Friday and Saturday made up for the dip yesterday. That's a profitable weekend all day long, right there, man.
I mean, can you think of a world where a team that wins 75% of their games goes on the road as an underdog in all 3 games?
The one we're living in, Chris. The one we're living in, buddy.
There you go. Yeah, in the world of $5 plus gas.
Well, yeah, I know. They were missing. Judge was out, right? When Judge hurt. I thought Judge had a thing. I thought there was like a reason that I don't know.
I just figured that they thought, hey, Toronto's at home.
I took him at plus money all 3 days and was happy. So
yeah, I was disappointed with the way they were up big yesterday and then they kind of fell apart. No, Judge played yesterday. Okay. So
all right, there you go.
Played center, which is, to me, that's kind of weird. Having a guy that's 6'7", 280 playing in center.
Loping. I want $1 every time they use the word loping in the outfield. He's loping towards the gap. He's loping to get the ball.
For all the talk about there being a mush baseball, he's got 25 homers in 64 games. He only had 39 last year in 148.
Yep. Super Sly's in the house. Good day, Super Sly. Good to have you here. So, Chris, let me ask you, because now we're down to baseball. Pretty I mean, we've got what's looking like 2 more hockey games left. I mean, no. I mean, we've got, let's say we've got 3 or 4 more hockey games, and then we're done. And then it's baseball for a couple of months until, preseason starts. And so, first of all, are you going to take any spins on expanding your wheelhouse? Or are we going to see some CFL plays? Are we going to see some tennis stuff?
Tennis, I can't do. I leave that to Reichel. He knows a lot more about tennis than I do. I'm not going to lie.
Grew up with the game, man. Yeah, he's a super smart tennis handicapper, no question.
But I'll leave that. I mean, if Reichel wants to come out and give tennis parlays sometime when he's not taking a nap or whatever, hey, more power to him.
Does it make your job? I mean, I know this is almost a redundant question, but does it make your job more difficult with fewer games?
Yeah, because then you got to try to come up with player props and stuff that you think are going to work.
Right.
Sometimes they don't pan out as well as you'd like.
Yeah. So I mean, there should be. The 2-teamer should still be probably just close to as strong because the
2s and the 4 will be fine. The shot in the dark is just like, well, what do we got to throw out here?
Yeah, and then having said that, you hit one 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
we still had basketball and other hockey stuff then.
Still had a couple of different basketball series going on, a couple of hockey series. Yeah, I get it. So
yeah, I don't mind doing CFL. I don't mind talking about the WNBA. I don't know how much anybody follows it that bets on it. But
you know what? I think that there's a fair amount, judging from the comments on our show and me and Scott's show, there is a fair amount of interest in the WNBA, and every day. Because I have, Capper of the Day contest in my comment section. People put their plays in. Every day there will be at least two people, sometimes more, making WNBA picks. Usually totals. Usually playing totals. Usually playing overs. Usually hitting them. So
especially if a team like Vegas is involved, because they seem to score by the truckload.
Right. Absolutely. So it is good to be here. We ask you guys, of course, take a minute, smash that like button. you could do worse. You could do worse than this pair right here. So yeah, give us the thumbs up. Get subscribed. We know you're watching us on Max Wagers Network right now. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. We appreciate it, of course, as we try to grow this thing from the ground up. Chris, we started at the bottom. Well, now we're here, but we want to be here. So
right.
That's from
it's as we like to say in the military, it's a work in progress.
Sure. We like to say that not in the military too. And anytime my wife,
also like to say hurry up and wait, but
anytime my wife gets mad at me for doing something, I just tell her I'm work in progress. So
I'm sure that goes over well.
Oh, sure. As you can imagine, after 30 years, it's a highlight.
That's why you moved into a condo, because she was still waiting for you to do stuff around the house.
You know what? That's not to get altogether inaccurate. So, there was enough stuff to do at my old house that I could have kept doing it long into my golden years, Chris. And I just decided that nope. Nope. And here's the deal, buddy. There was some stuff like roofs, floors, walls, shit that really needed to be taken care of. There was a mold problem in the basement. There was a leak in the downstairs shower. So I sold the house, and
that's future stuff as problem.
You know what? I got out from underneath it. I made a little bit. I was fine. The people that bought it, almost doubled their money.
Really?
And they did a bunch of cosmetic stuff. They rearranged the flooring a little bit. And I guarantee you, of all the stuff that needed to be fixed, they probably fixed almost fucking none of it. So I don't know how you sleep at night doing that kind of shit, but because you can see Zillow, you can see what they've done. You can see like 40 photographs and everything. And
Sandy's uncle just moved back from Oklahoma back to the Houston area, and he said he moved into pretty much about 5 minutes away from where he used to live, but all the houses that were for sale were ones that had been flipped like that, where you'd go in and look and see that you'd look in where you knew there was a spot where something was wrong, and they just patched over it or whatever, and you could see the wood was rotten inside. But so he ended up buying a place that a guy, the builder who for the subdivision or whatever, was building a house, and then decided that he was going to stay in his other house. So
there you go. So yeah, housing markets right now, you hear a lot about real estate speculators, about people buying houses and flipping houses. Then you hear people trying to rent a house and nobody can find a fucking house to rent. So if these guys are buying up all these properties and renting them, I don't know who they're renting them to, because you almost never see them on the market. Because my daughters were looking for a house to rent, and you could find very, very few. And of course, the ones that were the ones you could find were absolutely outrageous. So anyway,
of course.
That's enough for the Monday morning real estate breakdown. Good to have you guys here. Max Wagers Network, subscribe. Winners and Whiners YouTube channel, of course, get subscribed over there. A lot of great content as we put in our individual plays. Scott and I are there. A lot of our handicappers that you've been reading in the past are now doing their own plays. So check out both of those places. Max Wagers Network, you think of that as the live place. You got their live shows. You got Sean Higgs at noon doing Midday Money. Allie Burns, usually joined by Detroit Lenny, giving you guys morning wood. Me and Chris doing parlays. Scott and I over from Studio B, we're doing our thing at Back to the Window at 3 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock. Sean Miller doing soccer, F1, European stuff. The wife carrying contest. You ever seen that, like from Sweden or Switzerland, wherever they run?
Oh yeah, they got all kinds of weird stuff.
Right, the tomato throwing from Spain. He does all that stuff. He breaks all those down, and of course. 5 o'clock. I'm very sorry, Sean. I know you don't do those things. Detroit Lenny at 5 with Sean and with Nick and Tim Earl giving you your game time decision. So make sure you check that out. And of course, Chris, if you didn't give yourself a Father's Day present yesterday, it's not too late. You can pick one up where? Over at Caesars. That's right. Caesars has the perfect Father's Day gift, even if it's a day after, offering you a first bet insurance, your first bet up to $1,500. Risk-free. Risk-free. If you win it, you win a big bet. If you lose it, Caesars will make it good. And no harm, no foul, as they say. Of course, you must be 21 to take advantage of that, except in the states of New Hampshire and Wyoming, where the age is 18. We've got the links in the description. You must use the code VIDEOWINNERS15, just like it sounds. VIDEOWINNERS15, all one word. Of course, we've included that as well. We know some of you out there have the memory of a fruit fly, and we don't care. As long as you can remember to tune in here, we'll take care of the rest. So I think that covers that. You want premium plays? We have them both available. I know Chris has been running pretty well, and I am 17-5-3 last 5 days.
In your last 3 plays
of my premium plays. If you read the newsletter today, and I know you guys are all vigilant readers of the newsletters, it gave out my records, and I was like 12-4-1 or whatever they broke down.
12-2-1 in your last 3.
It should have said I think the last 3 or 4 days. It said the last 3 plays. So, yeah.
So that's pretty good. You could be like Bobby Heenan when he at WrestleMania 3, where he lost his first 2 matches as a manager, and he came out and said, "I am 2-for-0."
There you go. Yes, that's how I feel. So yeah, we've been running good. You've been running pretty well on your 2 and 4 teamers. You know, you people, you just kind of like, well, yeah, I hit a 4-teamer, but a lot of the 4-teamers you give out, especially with the run lines, you're talking about some pretty good prices, right? 17-1.
Yeah, 17, 20. Today's is almost 29-1, I think.
So yeah, there you go. Hey, well, let's get to it. I think we've babbled. CZR and okay, right.
Apparently not a fan of Caesars in Pennsylvania.
Right, checking in with and I know a lot of these places, the operations are new. There's growing pains, and if it's not ideal, my question is, will I still get my $1,500 back? Yes, you will. So, is it your favorite? No. Is it your new favorite if they make $1,500 good? Maybe. So,
does Reichel play Caesars in New York?
I don't know. I know he's taking advantage of all the free bets, and for some of them, and I don't know if this is the deal with Caesar, but I will say with some of them, he's been able to take advantage of them state by state, like get his bonuses in New Jersey, get his bonuses
back over the border,
get his bonuses in New York, get his bonuses in Pennsylvania. So again, I don't know if it works for this. I know it's worked for some in the past from Reichel. I've seen the tickets. I know it works. So. Yeah,
you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Super Sly says maybe the Oilers deserve a little more credit as the Avs look unstoppable. I guess we'll see tonight. Yeah, I don't think there's any other word you can use when you win 7-0. Unstoppable pretty well sums it up, Sly. Absolutely correct, sir. I'm not going to ask you if that was surprising, because of course it was fucking surprising. Nobody expected one of the top 5 goalies in NHL history to give up a 7 spot.
First time he's given up that many in his career.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a mixed bag, because a lot of times you get pulled after giving up, 3 or 4 in the first period, and they've seen enough of your antics. So that's not completely surprising, although I'm sure the bar for pulling Vasilevsky is a lot higher than it is.
Well, yeah, John Cooper said after the game, he didn't even think about pulling him because he said, quote, "I didn't think he'd come out."
Well, there's a coach that has control of his team. Well done. I was stunned that there weren't more shots. I will say that part surprised me, other than, the obvious thing that was surprising. And of course, that was the final score. But if you look at the shots, Scott, Chris, sorry, I haven't done that in a while. You assumed that Vasilevsky was just peppered. One of those 45, 50 kind of nights. 30 shots. 30 shots.
Yeah,
is
but
all...
when you get, it's all about quality, and
True.
They had so many odd man rushes, and Vasilevsky, they've said, and through the rest of the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, was only giving up about 3.5 rebounds per game. He's given up almost 7 rebounds a game in the first 2 games of this series. And when you're giving up big rebounds against a team like Colorado, they're going to make you pay. And that's basically what we saw happen.
Well, and I was on the show in Denver on Saturday morning. We talked about this game. Obviously, it's kind of on their minds. They took a break.
I'm shocked and outraged they wanted to talk about it.
They took a break from building Russell Wilson altars all around town to notice that there's a hockey final going on, and we talked about this. And I said, well, obviously, with Tampa Bay not getting off whatever they got off.
They finished with 16
21.
Official
well, I'm talking about the first game, like 21 shots.
Oh, yeah.
And I said they have to fix that. They have to be able to beat the Colorado forecheck. I think they will. I think they'll put up more shots tonight and have a better outcome. Literally none of those things happened as the Tampa Bay the Tampa Bay Lightning had 16 shots, and my perfect start to the NHL series went up in flames, as I really expected Tampa Bay and Vasilevsky and the offense to rebound, and couldn't have been more wrong.
Well, I mean, the big part is that in order for you to have success, not just obviously in the National Hockey League, but in general, is you actually have to have possession of the puck to shoot it. And like you said, they were getting killed on the forecheck. They turn it over. McDonough takes a dumb penalty less than a minute into the game, and a few seconds after that, the puck's in the net.
Yep.
And that set the tone. Then when you've got Colorado's got guys like Burakovsky and Manson and Darren Helm scoring, it's not going to be your night. I know Tampa Bay had a lot of hits in that game. They've tried to play physical. But again, if you don't have possession of the puck, you're not going to get much in the way of shots on goal.
Right.
And you talk about Tampa Bay, they had 38 scoring opportunities in Game 6 against the Rangers. In the first 2 games of this series, they've had totaled 35. That's not going to get it done against a team like Colorado that, like Sly said, maybe you have to give some credit to the Oilers. I mean, at least Mike Smith kept them in shouting distance for the most part.
How bad must that be if you're watching Vasilevsky and going, Jesus, if we just had Mike Smith, maybe we'd be in this?
If you're sitting around saying if we had Mike Smith, we'd be in this, somebody's going to want you to take a drug test.
Well,
or you belong in a mental institution.
I talked about this on both shows on Friday. I thought the maximum, I thought you were at the apex of playable odds for the Tampa Bay Lightning in this series, that it was plus 230 for them to win the series when they were down 1-0. And I said playable because we both agreed that if they went down 2-0, they weren't coming back. So
yeah, it's tough to win 4 out of 5.
It really is. And if you wanted to go that way, you're now catching them at plus 445. Personally, I think that's just, you might as well take out your BIC and fire up your money, because they're like you said, it's tough to win 4 out of 5 really against anybody, and it's tough to win 4 out of 5 when you've got to go on the road for 2 more games.
Yeah.
So I think that's over. Apologies for anybody. And I didn't say to do it. I just said if you wanted to go that way. And Scott liked it. I think Scott said, because I think he liked the Lightning going into this. I think he liked the Lightning in 6. He had the Lightning minus 1.5. I thought it would go 7. I thought Colorado would squeak it out. And so far we've been, with 2-0 Colorado. It don't look like it's going 7. May not go 6. So we'll see what happens there. But,
yeah, I agree.
All right, buddy. Well, that about covers it. I think we've touched all of our bases, all the got-tos. Let's. Did you have a good Father's Day? Did you have fun? Did you do anything exciting?
It wasn't bad. Not like going out and firing up the grill and all that good stuff.
You cooked some steaks?
Oh yeah, got to.
Okay,
got to.
So we went out for brunch, and then did some fun stuff, and then.
Did you go to the fancy brunch place?
We did. We went to the Italian buffet. It was the place that could get us in at the time that we wanted and had something for everybody. So you didn't go to the pizza place? No, we didn't go to the pizza place. We did not. We went to, but we did go to a Mexican place later in the day. This is what I was going to tell you, because you always give me a hard time because I eat a lot of vegetables and I don't eat a lot of red meat and everything. My son and I split a burger. And you say, well, you split a burger, but let me tell you, this was a beef bacon blend with Mexican sausage, ham, and pastrami on it to go along with 2 different.
So what, like chorizo or what?
It said Mexican. No, it was more like a tube sausage. It wasn't a crumbled sausage, and it was a little spicier than normal chorizo. So, and so that's why I just wanted you to know that when I do eat red meat, I don't fuck around. I ate like seven different ones at the same time. So. And
then you probably ran to the bathroom and shit it all out.
No, but I will tell you this. I'm not having my best day today. I mean, nothing weird coming in. No, nothing with the bathroom. I feel logy. I just don't feel, just kind of feel draggy. So anyway.
Bryce said it sounds like a great burger.
It was a great burger. It was a great fucking burger. Yeah, it was. And it was in a Mexican joint.
Was it $89.95?
It was $10. $9.95.
Well, see, that's even better.
Came with fries. $10.
Came with fries. Now that's quality.
Stealing it. We're stealing this food. So anyway, yeah, very good shit. Anyway, let's rock and roll, buddy.
All right. So we'll go to the Diamond, huh?
Hey, how about
we talk about
the
the
Diamond?
Padres and the Diamondbacks at Petco Park.
Okay.
Arizona still below 500. San Diego continues to stay right on the heels of the Dodgers and the NL West, despite Fernando Tatis playing as many games in the majors this season as Scott Reichel. Now, I know that's really shocking. Everybody's thinking, wow, I could have sworn Reichel played in the majors. Didn't actually happen.
Yeah, he had a cup of coffee with the Mets.
That might have happened on MLB The Show.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Padres half a game back. They struggled over the weekend, but I think they'll bounce back here. We've talked a lot about pitcher splits, and while nobody is like Wei-Yin Chen of the Marlins a couple of years ago,
magical.
We've got Yu Darvish on the mound here for San Diego against Zach Davies. Everybody knows Zach Davies not really a guy you want to have on the mound against a team that can hit a little bit. Darvish this season at Petco has strung together a 3-1 record with a 135 earned run average, an 0.60 whip, 5 walks and 31 strikeouts and 33 in the third. Opposing teams, Scott, the on base percentage against Darvish at Petco, $1.97.
Yeah, I saw that. I did this game. This is my play of the day. I took the total. I didn't play a side in here, but I took.
What's the total? 7?
Yeah,
7.5.
7. I was looking for 7.5. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, Darvish has given up just 15 hits at home in his 33 to third.
He's been outstanding at home. He's been good 2 of his last 3 road starts because we faded him on the road here not too long ago. And
yeah, because you took Justin Steele in that game last week.
Yeah, it went to 1-1 into the eighth, whatever it was. Yeah, and just the bullpen shit the bed. But yeah, here's my problem with the side and that. Number one, the price. It's just I get it. Darvish has been great at home. The Pods are 4-1 in his home starts. But Davies has actually been good his last 3 outings. And that anytime I see a guy trending in that direction, I kind of have to give it a second thought. And he's been his June starts, he was absolute dog shit for April and May for the most part. Had an ERA, I think, almost of 5 going into June. But last 3 starts been very good. 1.31 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. Arizona offense. That's the other problem with this is they are not likely to give you much against Darvish. I think I think you're maxing out at 3 runs in this game if you are Arizona. So
yeah, my counter to Davies having 3 good starts is that 2 of them were against the Reds and the other one was against the Pirates.
Okay. Fair enough. And you always have to look at the quality of the competition, and they're definitely stepping up here. The other problem I have with this game is you're not likely to have Machado in the lineup.
Yeah, I know he sprained his ankle.
So I know it's not broken. They did the x-rays. I know they're doing like an MRI today, or they did it late last night. He may be back later in the week. I think we're going to have him out for a couple games, looks like, at least.
Yeah, I would imagine he'll probably, if he's they list him as questionable right now, but
okay.
I think he'll probably won't be back till Wednesday, Thursday.
That's my guess. So I did factor that into my cap. I don't hate the. I'm not playing the Diamondbacks here. I just don't love laying 165. Anyway,
I think San Diego will cover the line. I just think that, like you said, if you get 3, and 3 might be blindly optimistic for Arizona.
Absolutely.
I think San Diego can put up 4 or 5.
If you like Arizona, I would couple it with the under. I think that's a correlated situation. I don't think Arizona breaks through against Darvish. I don't think.
Yeah, FanDuel has it at 7.5 now.
I don't think this ends up at. So you got over money coming in. Terrific. Everybody's fading me. Fantastic. That's
well, it's only FanDuel. Everybody else still has it at 7.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't really count. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one.
All right.
Go ahead.
Good enough.
What else we got?
Well, we got your favorite local team. That's right. It's the Kansas City Royals.
Winners of 2 of 3 against the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, of course. I took a Stinger yesterday to win, and they didn't score any runs.
Nope.
Or were they like 0 for 30 with runners in scoring position?
Just choking like nobody's business. Dreadful.
I mean, I only saw the score. I didn't look, in depth at it to see how bad they were. Well, they only had 3 hits. Okay. Did they get a bunch of walks?
That doesn't sound like the Royals.
Yeah, they walked 6 times.
The Royals walked 6 times.
They faced Koenig, who,
Yep.
hadn't pitched well. He walked 4 guys and didn't strike anybody out.
Santana and Benintendi. Those guys can actually walk.
The Royals 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
That's a recipe for success right there.
So Koenig gave up 2 hits, walked 4, committed an error, and still got the win, throwing 5 2/3 shutout innings.
Got the win. There you go.
Whit Merrifield had 2 of the walks. Bobby Witt 1, Dozier 1, Santana 1, and Melendez 1.
Wow, look at that. New guys.
Sharing the wealth.
New guys walking. Minus 180 here, huh?
I think that the Angels should be able to cover. So I'm riding the plus 110 there, but your good buddy Chris Bubich, I could have sworn he won a game, but according to Baseball Reference, he didn't. Yeah, I thought he had won a game when because he had pitched well in one of those one-sided games that nobody thought that the Royals were going to win. I have to look at which one it was. I thought it was against Houston.
Yeah, he did. I think it was one of the games he jumped up and bit me.
Yeah, against Houston, he threw 5 shutout innings in a game that ended up 6-0, but didn't get the win because Kansas City scored
everything late.
2 in the 6th and 4 in the 8th.
Nice. That's you're not. That's living right there. Then that's why again, for the 178th day in a row, I will tell you why wins don't matter when you're looking at a pitcher's stats. Just not one bit.
And you talk about wins not mattering. You look at Syndergaard. Syndergaard's been a little snake bit. He's got a losing record despite a 3.53 ERA, and he's pitched fairly well for a good stretch of the season. He had a couple of rough starts. But you look at he threw 8 innings against Texas on May 24th. Then he got shelled by the Yankees, which isn't saying much. Then he was on the wrong side of that 1-0, one of those 1-0 games against the Red Sox, where he gave him a run on 5 hits and 6 innings. And then he took the loss in his last start where he only went 4 2/3, but he gave him a run on 2 hits against the Dodgers in a game they lost 2-0.
Yeah, they got just no offense going at all.
And you look, Syndergaard's lost 3 times by shutout this season.
It's pretty brutal right there. It really is. I was just looking to see how they. Yeah, the Angels, they hit the same against everybody. I was looking to see how they hit lefties, and they score 4. They average 4.2 runs on the season. Average 4.2 runs against lefties. So there's literally no drop off whatsoever.
And the current Royals hitters are hitting a collective 273 against Syndergaard. But you know who the leading hitter against them is? That's right. Black Magic Woman himself, Carlos Santana. He's 4 for 11.
Yeah, that would have been my guess. So 11 at bats. So that's a stat that means really nothing. I mean,
well, but it's the most at bats that anybody has against Syndergaard for the Royals.
Right. That's what I'm saying. 11 at bats. You're not even approaching any kind of a sample size there, and everybody else has less than that. So
yeah.
Royals are hideous. I don't know. Yeah, they jumped up and got 2 or 3 of Oakland. Congratulations. You're stepping up a little bit in competition, and the level of competition. Okay, I don't know, man. Syndergaard's like has been mostly good. That has problem written all over it for the Royals. Bubich has been a box of chocolates. Of course, most of them have a couple bites out of them. They're not great chocolates, but every once in a while.
So it's full of toothpaste.
Every once in a while, most of them are filled with Crest, but every once in a while you'll find a nice cherry cordial in there and like, oh, how did this sneak through? And like, well, I don't know. It's a fucking miracle.
I mean, what do you realistically expect out of Bubich at this point?
I forgot. Who knows? Realistically, I'll split the baby. I'll say 5 innings and 3 runs.
So basically, what he did against the Giants in his last start.
Is that what he did? Sure.
3 runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 5 in the third.
Yeah, that's about Bubic right now. If he's not shitting the bed or all of a sudden looking like Sandy Koufax, that's Bubic. 3 runs in 5 innings. That's write it down.
His ERA is actually the lowest it's been all season.
Terrific. That's fantastic.
At 8.36.
That's a glass is half full right there. If you're
in the month of June in 3 starts, his ERA is only 4.3.
Killing it. If you're going in to be DFA'd and you're trying to make your case and you go, my ERA is the lowest it's been all season right now. You're right, Chris. And what is that number? 8.5. What? 8.5. Okay, that's what I thought you said. Get the fuck out of here.
We like to wish Chris Bubic the best in his future endeavors.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I got nothing here. The Royals don't play well on the West Coast, generally speaking. They don't play well. No, I was gonna say they play okay in Seattle. They usually play like shit in Oakland. They almost always play like shit in Anaheim. So yeah, sure. Minus 180. That seems reasonable. That's I don't.
Would you play the run line knowing the Royals offense?
Fucking. Problem with that is the Angels haven't scored shit lately.
They had some success against Seattle because, like you said, everybody beats up Seattle.
Yeah,
I don't understand what's going on with that team.
Well, they've averaged less than 2.5 runs over the last week. I think they averaged about 2.8 over the last 10 games. I suppose you could take a spin at it just because the Royals are awful, but I'd rather just throw that 180 in with the parlay because they get.
How many runs are you going to bank if you were to take the Royals team total? What would you take?
Well, I can tell you. So the total on this is 9. So the Royals team total is 3.5. Would I play 3.5? No, I would not. I'd play the under 3.5.
Would you take under 2.5?
Plus 140. What is it?
I'm gonna look here. Let's see. Royals. There we go.
I thought you had it up.
No, I had it up before, but I just thought it was okay. 2.5. Under 2.5 is plus 150.
150.
Yeah, under 1.5 is plus 290.
3-2. So you're giving me 3-2. So you're saying if you play this game 5 times, will the Royals score 3 runs more than twice? I don't think so. I think getting 3-2 on that is a pretty fair trade-off. Under 2 and under 1.5. What'd you say? Under 1.5 pays what?
290.
No. I'd rather get involved at 150 for give me the extra run.
I don't blame you.
All right.
I'm just curious since you know the Royals better than I do.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's the great part about living in Carolina is you can just fucking pick whatever team you want.
Right. As long as they're not the Braves.
You like the Braves?
No.
Hate the Braves?
Never liked them when they were on TBS.
Because they competed.
Jim Carrey and Pete Van Wieren.
Because they competed with the Cubs, or why didn't you?
No, I just never liked them. They kind of rammed them down everybody's throat because it was on the Superstation, And don't forget, after that, Andy Griffith coming out at 6:05.
But the Cubs were on every day.
But they were on WGN though, and that was a Chicago station.
It was also a Superstation.
Yeah, but it wasn't. A lot of, at least where I lived in New York, a lot of cable companies didn't carry WGN until like the late 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
We didn't have where I lived until 89.
Oh, that's crazy. I never lived anywhere that didn't have WGN.
Well, you live in the Midwest.
Fair enough. All right. Give me some hockey, buddy. Give me some hockey.
All right. I'm going to go with the Avalanche here. They're Tampa Bay. I know they're going to get maybe a little bit of a boost from being at home. Maybe get a boost from the crowd. Maybe having the last line change will help. But like you said, they just got dusted 7-0. They were outscored 11-3 in the first 2 games. Vasilevsky looked bad. I read an article on ESPN where they were talking about Game 2, and Greg Wyshynski from there said that if you look at the heat map for shots, it looked like Colorado's end was on fire while Tampa Bay dribbled parts of a lime popsicle on there.
Nice.
But you're talking about a Colorado team that's averaging 4 3/4 goals a game in the playoffs. We haven't seen a stat like that since 1985 when some guy named
is it Gordie Howe? Are you going to say Gordie Howe?
No, it's some guy named.
It's the great one.
He said it was a great one. I didn't know The Rock played hockey.
You say anything in 1985 with hockey, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna guess one name and be right.
Right. So we haven't seen this kind of offensive surge since then. And it's funny when you think about it because the game's not as wide open as it used to be.
Right.
Back then, where every game was 7-6. And they've gotten decent goaltending. Kemper didn't have to do a whole lot in game 2, which was probably good for him because then it tamps down the goaltender controversy. Should we go back to Francouz? Should we stick with Kemper?
Right. It's like having shitty quarterbacks against a team that doesn't have time to throw the football.
Right.
You've got shitty cornerbacks, but we put up 12 sacks, so we have to worry about it. He ain't going deep. If you're only getting off 16 shots, you're not winning hockey games, buddy. I'm gonna tell you pretty much all that I've learned about hockey rolled into a nutshell. If you're getting 16 shots a game, you ain't winning. That's it. That's about the limit of my knowledge, but I do know that. I'm not a smart man, but I do know that about hockey, that you're going to have to get some shots. I don't disagree with you here, buddy, because you're going back to Tampa. You're going to have the big crowd on your side, blah, blah, blah. But this isn't a goaltending fuck up. This isn't like, well, you know what? The goaltender had a bad game, whatever. This is a fundamental problem with the offense against the defense. They can't get any fucking shots off. I don't know what changes.
And they can't control the puck because, the best part of that game for Tampa Bay in game 2 was the opening 30 seconds or so when their checking line actually controlled play. And then once Colorado got possession of the puck, McDonough went to the penalty box. Colorado scored less than 3 minutes in the game and it was over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really was. You didn't necessarily think it at the time, but yeah, absolutely. So that's I don't see my thoughts on that is if they could fix that problem, they would have fixed it for game 2.
Right.
And they didn't. And in fact, you could certainly argue it got worse. So I don't know how you bet against this team right now. And you could very well be wrong. We could both, because I'm with you. So we could both be wrong, and Tampa Bay could step up and look like the team that
we saw against the Rangers.
Yeah.
In the last 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. But so far, if you can't control the puck and you can't get it out of your own end, it's going to be another long night for the boys. So, and you've got some pretty good stats there. To back it up, you talk about the rest factor. You talk about playing good hockey against winning teams. Probably the most important one there that I would circle, 23-9, last 32 on the road. That's
and
impressive.
Going on the road is always a challenge. But you have to think going on the road when you're up 2-0, you're playing with house money. Even if you split, you're going to go back home 3-1.
Sure. And we've talked about this before. That's not necessarily the mindset that you have in the moment, but it certainly is the macro mindset where you fly back on the plane, you got one of the two, you go home 3-1. You're definitely happy about it, no question.
Right, and the big thing is going to be, can Tampa Bay play their style of hockey? Are they? Stamkos and Kucherov, that top line for Tampa Bay was just throttled. Matched up against the McKinnon line, the shot totals for those two lines 19-3 in the first 2 games in favor of Colorado as far as the top line matched up against each other. That's not going to get it done.
So you're a hockey guy, Chris. What can they do to fix that? That seems like a fundamental problem in a mismatch in this game. What can they do to get it fixed?
Well, the biggest thing that Cooper's going to have to do is, he gets the advantage of the last change. So if McKinnon's out there, they can throw Cirelli and his line out there. When Colorado gets rid of the McKinnon line, maybe goes to Landeskog or somebody else, then they can roll Stamkos and Kucherov and either Palat or whoever they've got on the other wing. But the bottom line is they're going to have to be smart. They're going to have to find a way to not cough the puck up as much as they did.
Right.
I mean, we saw that the first 2 games with the Rangers. They turned the puck over a ton. They built off it. They cut it down. Now the problem is, can they do that and stop Colorado? And that's a big ask of anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the Canadians of the 70s when Scotty Bowman was there. I don't care if you're the Islanders of the 80s when you had Trottier and Bossy and Potvin and Billy Smith. I don't care if you're the Oilers of the 80s, which is probably, the closest thing to what Colorado is when you had Gretzky and Anderson and Coffey and Messier and Curry and Fuhr and all those other guys. That's basically what Colorado is now. And you're asking a lot for anybody to try and shut them down 4 games out of 7.
So with Vasilevsky giving up 11 goals in 2 games, does that mean anything? Has he lost a step? Is he just cold right now, or is he
he got hung out to dry?
Is he just simply facing too many great shots?
Yeah, he's facing a lot of great shots, and like I said, he's getting hung out to dry. They're not clearing guys out in front of the net. They're not clearing the zone effectively. They're turning the puck over, like we said at the end of game 1, when they turn it over in the neutral zone. Then 5 seconds later, it's in the back of the net in overtime, and the game's over.
Yeah, that was the winner. That possession started with them being unable to not only mount any kind of an offense, but simply to even fucking get it out of their own end.
Right, and that's their problem. They're going to have to cut down on that. They're going to have to find ways to get some offense themselves, or this is going to be over before it starts.
All right, very good, my friend. So that's you getting involved with the total here? Do you think ultimately the goaltenders, because they're not getting off a ton of shots? I think
this one's going to end up under. I think you're going to see 3-1, 4-1.
Right.
Maybe get an empty netter or something in there.
You got to keep thinking that's one of those games is coming. That there's going to be one of those games where they're going to stop some shots and it's going to go under the total. Hadn't happened yet, but we'll see. I'm completely with you on both those picks. I like Colorado. I like the under, buddy. So
and Marlo wants to know, why did everything start 5 minutes past the hour on TBS?
My guess, I think I've read this before, and I think it was to catch people, because a lot of the shows would like do cold opens, or they do a forced cold open, and then they go to a long commercial break after they did the cold open, and that's exactly the time TBS started their shows. So I think maybe it's the for the people that were able to tune in that way, and their shows ended after other shows had already began. So you're like, well, fuck, I've already missed the first 5 minutes. I might as well just keep watching TBS. So I think unless I'm mistaken, those were the 2 reasons.
That makes sense.
All right. Let's make some money, buddy.
Yeah, Tony says he likes the Rays, the Cards, and the Pirates.
You got the Pirates today, do we? The Rays, the Cards, Pirates. Tampa Bay going up against the Yankees, catching plus 117. Well, if you're going to do it, it's the fucking game to do it with McClanahan on the mound.
Matchup, Cole and McClanahan.
6.5, buddy. You see that 6.5, and it's a little juiced to the under. So, yeah, we could. I don't think we're going to see 6, but it's like I said, it's juiced to the under. Cardinals with Mikolas on the mound. Boy, he ain't picking any easy pitching matchups, is he?
No, I mean, I actually have all 3 of these because, hey, there's only 8 or 9 games on the schedule since the Mets and Marlins started early. But my concern with Mikolas is the same one we talked about last week. After he started, he threw 129 pitches in that game against the Pirates. What's he going to have in the tank today?
God damn, they didn't ask that about Bob Gibson, or Bob Gibson threw 115 pitches. You think he's going to be able to go again today in 4 days? By the way, with 1 day less rest, as most rotations were for me. They
didn't ask if Pud Galvin was going to pitch.
That's Pud Galvin. God, dude, what a great name pull that was, buddy. Nicely done. It's no old Hoss Radborn, but it ain't bad.
Well, he was next on the list.
Very good. All right, so
he's not Walter Johnson.
I'll tell you what, he's catching some nice prices there. You're getting plus $1.50. With the cards, you're getting 117. And what was the other one? Who did you like?
The Pirates with Brubaker.
Okay, but there was.
I think Pittsburgh was a slight favorite when I wrote it up.
It's they're minus 107. You got Killian on the mound for the Cubs. Just go ahead and flip an old shitty dusty coin. I would hate to get both my dogs in and then have the fucking Pirates disappoint me. I would feel better about just Garrett Cole pitching a Jim or something. You know what? You tip your cap, but you play the Pirates and they go out and fucking clown car it for the last 3 innings and lose 8-7 or some shit. I would be pissed. Good luck, man. It's an interesting 3-teamer, I know, and it's going to pay well. That's the thing. So, speaking of interesting parlays, Chris, we got a couple of big time favorites here. We got 3 out of 4 big time favorites. So let's
that's because no matter where you look, there's big time favorites.
I wasn't criticizing. I'm just pointing. Just pointing it out.
I know we get a lot of people going, "Whoa, geez, taking so and so minus $3 billion." Well, if they're playing, the little sisters of the poor,
Don't fire the shotgun through the front door when the UPS guy knocks, Chris. It's just me. I'm just telling you. Minus 175, minus 160. You take the Sox and the Padres. We didn't talk about the Red Sox. They are going up against the Detroit Tigers, who can't score, Chris.
That's why I took Boston.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
I said, gee, it's Josh Winkowski, who nobody knows much about because he's only made 2 starts, against Alex Fado, who's pitched okay, but
I knew it was you, Fado. I knew it was you.
Yeah, look at Fado. He's made 8 starts. He averages 5 innings an outing. In the first 7 starts, he gave up 2 runs or less.
That's
then
good.
His last start, he pitched against the White Sox and gave up 7 runs in 3 innings.
No, that's not good. That's not.
He hasn't gone more than 6 innings in the majors. Yeah. In that start, he gave up 2 runs on 5 hits and took the loss in a game that ended up 8-1.
Okay, very good. You don't have to sell me too hard on taking the team that's playing Detroit, whoever that may happen to be.
I just don't get it. Detroit's got a lot of name. Well, not so much talent, but they got some names in the lineup, and
everyone in the lineup has a name, no question about it. This is the most named offense, the most named lineup in the MLB.
Exactly. But I mean, you got Javier Baez. You got they called him Riley Green. You got Torkelson. He was a highly recruited
Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah,
a great name.
Right, he's supposed to be the number 1 pick a couple of years ago. He was the number 1 pick in 2020. I remember there was talk about whether he was going to get picked there or if they're going to go somewhere else. You got Tucker Barnhart. He's not a slouch.
Sure. Don't sell yourself short, Judge. You're a tremendous slouch. This one pays $155 on $100, so you're still getting better than 3-2, laying 175 and 160. That's what we talk about, bundling them together for success. You want to play the run line with a couple of home teams. Well, you should deserve to win more, and you will. 393 on 100, almost 4-1. Chris, your other parlay, we talked about the Abs, minus 105. You want to lay the puck line there. You are getting a nice bonus at plus 220, and we should expect to see that show up in the parlay, and it will. Angels minus 180 over the Royals. It's Bubich. It's the Royals. Who could blame you?
I was going to say, that's all we need to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that. The home team, once again, on the run line, you're getting a pretty good amount of value there at 90 cents. Why is it? Well, Angels are at home. Angels struggle to score. So that makes the run line well worth your time if you want to get involved there. Pays a little better than 2-1 on the easy play. And you want to go difficult, you want to add some serious value, can interest you in a 2-teamer at almost 6-1 as it pays $5.72 on one single Benjamin Franklin. So
$5.72 on your radio dial.
Checking in weather and traffic and weather on the 9s. It's $5.72 here at whatever, man. 5:72 a.m.
No, Chris, we talked about it. We said we liked Tampa Bay early on in the series, but after the way we saw Saturday, there was nothing redeemable about what we saw from Tampa
No.
Bay. Now, like we said, they could come back and make us look like we didn't know what we were talking about tonight. But to quote Ric Flair, to be the man, you have to beat the man. And right now, even though Tampa Bay is the two-time defending champs, Colorado is the man in the first two games of this series.
They look like the far superior team, no doubt about it. I didn't say what was the question?
Oh, he thought that we liked Tampa Bay.
I did. I thought they were well. I liked the Avs going in. I thought it was a slight lean, but I thought Tampa Bay offered some good value, and that's what we talked about that first game. I thought the Avs would win, but I thought there was value at getting almost 3-2, getting plus 140 on Tampa Bay. That was hard to pass up. And then we talked about if you liked Tampa Bay as a series team at plus 230 before the last game, that was again a good value play. But I've seen, just like you, nothing from this team that makes me think any kind of Tampa Bay predictions were correct. So there you go. Give me a 4-teamer. All
right. How about here's one of there's a couple of those other games we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. I like the Brewers here. I like Corbin Burns.
Oh, it's the fade parlay. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I like Corbin Burns here. Like I said, I don't know what Mikolas has in the tank after throwing 129.
Fair enough.
God knows that's the most pitches he's thrown probably in his life. Burns pitched well his last couple outings. He's still got an ERA of 2.5 and a WHIP under 1. Coming off a win over the Mets where he gave up 2 runs on 5 hits with 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. And the Cardinals, they didn't look all that great against Boston over the weekend. They got walloped. Was it Saturday? They lost Friday when Paul Goldschmidt struck out in the 9th with tying run on base. They didn't fare well yesterday, and now this is a battle for first place in the Central. It's both teams 38-30. I just like Burns a little better than I like Mikolas here. The Braves. Oh, go ahead.
Corbin Burns is excellent. Go ahead.
That's right, Smithers.
Mr. Jones joke, Mr. Burns joke every time. All right, go ahead, buddy. We're running out of time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Braves or the Giants. Fried over Logan Webb. Webb has similar splits to Darvish, where he pitches well at Oracle Park as compared to how he pitches on the road.
Never loses.
Never loses at home.
Right.
But this game's in Atlanta.
Correct. Both of those things are accurate.
Yeah, he's 2-1 with a 425 earned run average on the road, compared to 4-1 with a 274 at home.
There you go.
Fried pitches well. I think that Atlanta will get the win. I'm going to go the other way with the Yankees and the Rays. I think this one's going to end up over 6.5. When McClanahan pitched last week against the Yankees, it ended up 4-3. I see this being another 4-3 type of game. I know you've been riding the Cola coaster as far as you don't know what you're going to get out of him from start to start.
Right.
You bagged him before he faced Detroit. Then he threw 7 innings of shutout ball. Then he came out against the Twins and gave him 5 homers and 2 1/3. And then he came back and threw 6 shutout innings against Tampa Bay in the game where Kluber pitched. So he could be due for another rough outing. It's hard to tell.
Yep.
But I think this one's still going to end up 4-3, something like that. There's just too much power in the Yankees lineup to keep this one under this number. I don't know what it's juiced at towards the under. Is it 125 or something like that at 6.5?
It was like 117. It was very, very slight juice. Very slight juice.
And I'm going to take the Cubs over the Pirates. We've talked several times about JT Brubaker, who still has no wins this season. He's 0-7 with a 4.35 or 4.50 ERA and a 1.438 WHIP. His ERA could be even worse, except for the fact that he's got 9 unearned runs on the ledger. I know Killian still adapting to pitching at the major league level.
Yep.
At first, they thought he was going to be a one-off. He struggled against San Diego with his control. Pittsburgh's not San Diego as far as the lineup goes.
They are not.
So,
all right. Very good.
There you go.
You want to play all four of those? I know one person is not going to be playing all four of those. But 936 on $100, not bad. 9.3 to 1, 29 to 1 is what you're going to get on 100 if you want to play the run line on the Brewers, Braves, Yankees, and Cubs. All offer run line possible. Oh no, not the Yankees. That's a total. So three of the games offer run line possibilities. At home, picking up some great value there. All right, Chris, grip it and rip it, buddy. Give me 10.
You ready to see some big numbers here?
Big numbers, baby. All right, Barrios over 5.5 plus money, very good. Under 8 in the Braves game with.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of runs there because San Francisco has struggled to score lately.
Absolutely true. So you're taking a spin on the on that Tampa Bay game, ending up 4-3, roughly in favor of the Rays as they break through just enough against Cole.
Yeah, or the bullpen. The Yankees. We saw their bullpen struggle yesterday.
Syndergaard over 4.5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Yeah, very good there. No, that's for the full game. Gleyber Torres over 1.5 total bases plus 135. Has he been hot, Chris?
7 for 11 against Toronto over the weekend.
Very good. Avalanche Lightning under 6. Talked about that. We're due for an under game. We're due.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The first period being 1-0 or nothing.
There you go. Kucherov over 3.5 shots. That's plus money. Stamkos over 3.5 shots. That's plus money.
Yeah, I figure these guys are going to have to shoot if Tampa Bay is going to get something going in this series.
And McKinnon under 4.5 shots, just simply based on the fact that Colorado hasn't been getting off a ton of shots either.
Yeah, I mean, I think
spreading the wealth.
He had 3 shots the other day.
Okay.
Only had 1 assist despite Colorado scoring 7.
All right, get ready to change your life. $100 pays you $193,000. And if you
take the run line on that Tampa Bay game, that's look how much that shifts just off one change in the number.
Yeah, getting $1.10 there in value, and that takes it from $291, from $193 to $291. You add almost $100,000, and that's the only run line on there, right? Yeah,
that is correct.
Yeah, there you go. So you add 1 run line, and you can put another you put another floor on that house. You buy a new house,
and put another Audi in your garage.
There you go. Audi, nice car. Highly recommend. Anywho, that's it. That's the show, Chris. It's Monday. Let's put it in the can. We're done.
Yep.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Wrap it up.
Any final thoughts, buddy?
Watch and see what Tampa Bay does. The first, I think, 5 or 10 minutes is going to dictate how this game turns out.
All right. Very good. Wish everybody luck. Thanks for stopping by and joining us. Thanks for all the great comments. We appreciate it as always. Watch all the shows here, but stay tuned as Scott and I will be right around the corner. If you have the opportunity to keep watching, we appreciate it. If not, Chris and I will be back tomorrow to do this very same thing where we touch on some topics. We'll cover some bases, but, at the end of the day, this show, it's all about
just parlays.
You guys take care. We'll see you mañana.